Next up is Jack Covert, who's our regular contributor.
Oh, great.
To
I
the
love
podcast.
this segment.
Yes. Jack talks about one of his favorite business books of all time, and he is definitely the expert on this subject since his whole business is devoted to selling business books.
It's true.
So this month, we told him about the theme of the podcast, and he chose a book, which you will hear about now.
My name is Jack Covert, and my company is 800 CEO Reed out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm the co-author of the 100 Best Business Books of All Time, What They Say, Why They Matter, and How They Can Help You. And today I want to talk about a book that is featured in our book that we selected as one of the 100 best, called Leadership is an Art by Max Dupree. He is the second generation of the guys that run Herman Miller, the office furniture manufacturer out of Michigan. And it is his story of how he runs his business and how leadership is, in fact, an art, not a science. It's a funny story. I talked with him. We interviewed him about the book. And I talked to him and I said, where did this book come from? And he said that like I said, they're in Michigan. They're in outside Grand Rapids. And one of the local community colleges asked him to speak to his business class in the early 70s. And he thought, oh, all right. And so he went and talked to these young people about how Herman Miller runs their business. The reaction that he had from these students to their business philosophy, which is incredibly humanistic and features ideas that you nurture your employees, you don't try to put them in a hole, you try to work with their talents, was totally mind-boggling to these young people. And he realized that he had a message that he had to get out to the business community. One of the stories in the book is the story of Max's father. In the old days, the factories were run by a huge cylinder that ran down the center of the factory, and they ran belts off this to run the machines. And this pipe was run by a millwright, a hugely important position in a factory in the old days. The millwright died, and Max's father went to the funeral that weekend, and the millwright's wife asked if she could read some poetry. And he said, fine, and it was beautiful poetry. And Max's father asked, who wrote the poetry? And she said, my husband, the millwright, wrote the poetry. And Max Dupree's father had a huge revelation that, in fact, he never knew that the millwright was also a poet. And if he had known that the millwright was a poet, he could have used that value from the millwright in his business. He could have been a brilliant copywriter if he had known. And he could have nurtured that in the millwright to have the millwright have a more fulfilling life. That is the belief that Herman Miller runs their company, that in fact you work with the people that you have to nurture them to be better human beings. Max Dupree's father and Max run this business that is about as mechanical as you possibly can be. They manufacture office furniture. I mean, it's like making cars. But what they've been able to do is the company has always been at the cutting edge. The Ames chair is from them. They work with George Ames way early in his career. And all these great designers have worked with Herman Miller. And the reason why they've worked with Herman Miller is because the company has this ethical center, this belief that the human, the person that's working the machine, is crucial. Max Dupree believes that we are, in fact, our brother's keepers, and we need to know the people that are around us better to maximize our relationships and to understand what they offer to us as human beings and us as managers. So it is not only relevant, it is even more relevant than it was when it first came out, especially in this down economy where we're working and we're stressing people out even more. And the thing can be read in about 2 hours. It is a very, very easy read.